is an angle, and your task is going to be to construct a copy of this angle and then prove that your construction is an exact copy of this angle. So you want to prove that the angle that you construct is congruent to this angle, and the way that you do this is you start off by opening up your compass to any length as long as it's gonna intersect both sides. And basically what you do here is you put one point of your compass here, and whatever length it is that you opened up to, it doesn't matter really. It could be this length, right? And you draw this arc that's going to intersect the given angle. Okay, so this is the given angle, this black angle. And again, you open up your compass to any length, you put one point on here, that's going to be the center of the arc, or the center of this circle the semicircle you're gonna draw. And you just basically see where it intersects these two things. It could be, again, any length. I could do it that length, or I could do it, this length. And mine isn't going to be perfect, but yours should be. And you basically just label all these points. It doesn't matter what you label them. A, B, C, let's say. And with that same compass setting, so you open it up so it's the length from A to B, and it's the same length as from A to C. With that same compass setting, once you've already drawn, so you want to draw a straight line. So let's draw our straight line. This is our straight line here. And we have some point over here, let's say D. And this straight line is where you're going to construct your copy. And again, you open up to any compass, any setting, you drew this arc, this purple arc, and you keep your compass at that same exact setting, and you draw the same arc, the same length arc from point D. So I'm going to try my best to do this by using my thing here. I'm going to go like this. I'm just going to draw this, and then I'm going to pull it over. So it does look somewhat accurate. Let's see. So then now I know that, somewhere around here my arc should look something like this, right? That's my other arc. So again, now this new point that intersected my line, we should see for when we do our proof that this point right here, whatever, let's call it E, right? From D to E is the same length as from A to C, which is the same length as from A to B. Now what you do is you sit here and you actually try and make it so that way your compass is opened up to the exact length from B to C, which is that light blue length right there. Okay, you should make it so it's exactly that length. So you sit there and you play with your compass, you close it or open it until it's exactly the length between B and C. And you go to this point E, and you put it as a center, and you draw that arc as well. So I could sit here and I could go, let's do this nice, maybe I could do this, I think. So let's see. Yep, okay. And then I could go and I could draw from point E, I could draw an arc that's exactly the length of from B to C. So let me pick a color. And basically that arc would look like this. And the purple arc and this new green arc that I just drew are going to intersect at some point. Call that point F, whatever. That point right there. And what you do now is you draw the straight line joining D and that new point F. And this angle, FDE, will indeed be congruent to angle ABC, or the given angle that I gave you. And now you just need to prove this. So my statement is that this angle right here is congruent to this angle right here. Now, to prove this, we need to make sure that we see how it was that this was constructed. if it doesn't make sense how the construction happens, then the proof will not make sense. So let's do statements. Let's say S for statements, R for reasons, 1. So I want to state some things just based upon my construction. This is the only time where we write by construction. So let's see what we have by our construction, what we're assuming to be true just from how we constructed this. And what we have here is that I drew this purple arc to start, and then I drew the same purple arc over here. So that means that this is congruent to this, and that this is congruent to this. All 4 of them are congruent. But what really, I'll just put this as 2 ticks here because it doesn't really, we don't need all 4 of them to be congruent. I just need AC to be congruent to DE and DF to be congruent to AB, which is true. So, I mean, you could say that they're all 4 congruent, it doesn't matter. But I like it because then it's clear that when I could write it as AB, this side of this triangle, this side AB, is congruent to this side DF. And then I could say side AC, instead of saying all 4 are congruent in that straight line, I could clearly see 3 sides, right? So AC is another side with DE. And then finally, if you remember, I measured this length from B to C, and I went over to point E, and I drew this green arc. So from E to F, or any point on that green arc, excuse me, is going to be equal to the length from B to C. So this length from E to F is the same as the length from B to C. And this is essentially what we have by our construction. So BC is congruent to FE. And this is all, again, by our construction. 2, the next statement. Well, now you should be able to see this triangle, right? This is a side congruent to a side. This is a side congruent to a side. And then this is a third side congruent to a third side. So this triangle here is congruent to the bottom triangle. And that's your next statement. You say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DFE. And that's by side, side, side. Then you know if these 2 triangles are congruent, then all of their corresponding parts are congruent. So this angle over here, let's call it angle 1, whatever. This is the given angle, angle 1, right? Angle 1 corresponds with angle 2 in this triangle. If you look at this congruent statement, if you do the work with the sides that are congruent, you'll see that angle 1 is congruent, is corresponding to angle 2, and these 2 triangles are the same triangle. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And this is by corresponding parts of a congruent triangle are congruent. CPCTC. And then this is it.